Chinese President Xi Jinping emphasized that security should be the priority, calling it the foundation of development. China must not only counter the West but also revitalize the economy. The conflicting policies have become Xi Jinping's big confrontation. In the past, China became the world factory because of the massive injection of capital and technology from the West. Now the CCP government chooses to confront the Western world, thinking that foreign companies and governments would be reluctant to give up China's huge market. However, the combination of aggressive nationalism and communist ideology by the CCP has upset more countries, making them choose to stick close to the US, such as longtime American allies Japan, South Korea, and Australia. Now, even the Philippines, which has always been on the fence, and India are moving closer to the US than ever before. The result is Western companies are retreating. With the money gone, the chances of China reviving its economy are getting smaller and smaller. China's economic recovery is increasingly plagued by slow export growth and soaring unemployment. On May 16, 2023, the National Bureau of Statistics of China released data saying that the unemployment rate of youth aged 16 to 24 in urban areas in China soared to 20.4% in April, the highest level since the CCP officially began publishing such data in 2018. This means that at least 6 million young people in urban China are unemployed. The situation in China is only going to get worse. With nearly 12 million college graduates set to enter the job market this summer, it's estimated that the youth unemployment rate will exceed 25%. It should be noted that this is only official Chinese data, and the actual rate is likely higher. We will discuss this issue in the second half of the episode. The latest population data for 2022 shows that for the first time, the 4 first-tier cities in China, Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou, have experienced a collective population decline, and the decline in population exposes economic weakness. Shenzhen used to be a model of China's reform and opening up, and the key representative of China's high technology. But now, many people can't find jobs. Unemployed, they are wandering on the streets of Shenzhen. This is the description and question raised by some photographers in China. This is the Sunhe job market in Longhua, Shenzhen. Every morning at 7 a.m., young people from all over the country will flock here with their suitcases. Even for large enterprises, the basic salary is only 2,000 yuan, but there are still many people who are eager to sign up. Every day, 7,000 people are sent in succession to work in the gloomy workshops of the factories. The demographic dividend has become one of the means to squeeze the wages of workers. The job market is filled with large and small agencies. The unfamiliar workers from out of town can't tell which ones are reliable. Some of them will only cheat people of the application fee. Ordinary people cannot find jobs. You may say that it's due to a lack of education that has made it difficult to find jobs. Yet, it isn't easy for people with a doctorate or master's degree to find proper jobs that fit. Is there any use for studying in this age? Young people who can't find jobs in Dongguan, Guangdong province are living in places like this. The video shows what resembles a sewer pipe stacked in 2 layers. The size of the pipe can only allow a person to lie down, and each pipe has clothes and other supplies inside, which appears to be a place of shelter. These young workers are living in the pipes like rats. There is no need to pay rent and electricity, men and women living freely. But even such a place didn't last long and was soon demolished by a government order. These young people were evicted. A homeless girl said, "Why do we have to be targeted all the time? What have we done wrong? We are already miserable enough. Why can't they leave us a place to stay?" Dongguan was once known as the factory of the world, with international corporations like Sanyo, Panasonic, Samsung, Sony, Royale, Canon, Epson, Cisco, etc., all of which operated large factories with tens of thousands of employees. Surely, these are part of the reasons why a large number of young people in Dongguan are unemployed and have trouble finding jobs. Many enterprises in Dongguan are facing problems such as reduced orders and rising production costs. They struggle to survive. In addition, many factories have relocated either inland or countries such as India and Vietnam. A netizen posted a video saying that a large internet factory in Dongguan, which once employed over 10,000 people, has stopped recruiting. There is no overtime work, no money to be made, and no one spending money. A woman in charge of corporate recruitment said that it's difficult to find a job if one is older. The company only needs 2 people out of 120 resumes. Anyone over the age of 29 is rejected, and anyone under the age of 25 are rejected as well. All applicants must also have a bachelor's degree.
It's hard to find a job at an older age. I was in charge of recruiting these past 2 days. I'm recruiting for my own staff, making offers to specialist and supervisor positions. I went through more than 120 resumes in the afternoon, screening out 2. Those over 29 years old were all rejected. I didn't even bother to look at their resumes. Those under 25 years old were also rejected. They're too new, and we don't have the resources to train them. So corporate employment is quite harsh. If you're older, you won't be needed for this kind of entry positions. And if you're young and inexperienced, they don't want you. So if you're 35 years old and haven't climbed to the middle or senior positions, you're almost considered to be unemployed. For women, it's even more so. That's why people say that the end of the universe is to pass the civil servant exam. That's the reason. And in addition to age, they don't want anyone with a bachelor's degree that's upgraded from a college diploma. The minimum requirement is a bachelor's degree. They also look at your previous experience. If it's with a small company and the work is simple, for example, it'll be no good either.
The average person can't find a job, neither can the highly educated.
I have seen in my circle of friends recently that some of my previous colleagues have lost their jobs. Although the epidemic got better this year and the economic environment was supposed to be much better than the previous years, yet in reality, it isn't. In fact, the general environment today is really bad. I don't know why. Whether it is the restaurant business or in other industries, I find that people's willingness to spend this year is not very high. Secondly, it is particularly difficult to find jobs. I have several colleagues who were laid off in the first half of this year. They have been looking for work, but now they haven't found any suitable jobs. Not only ordinary people are like this. Those with high educational qualifications also have this kind of anxiety, like the general graduate students from prestigious schools or just out of doctoral studies. They reported in general that it is not very easy to find a job this year, and some have even looked for 3 or 4 months without finding anything. It has led to a lot of people discussing this topic, that is, the devaluation of education nowadays. Is there any use for studying at this age? I spent more than 10 years, and some even spent more than 20 years at school. Upon graduation, I could not find a satisfactory or suitable job, and some people even find that they can't support their families or even themselves.
For those who are over the age of 35, the hope of finding a job again is getting increasingly slim. I am almost afraid to go online. It's bizarre. It's all news of people over 35 years old. Someone is 38 years old and has been laid off for 8 months. He is still living in a rented home in Beijing, unable to find a suitable job. He is not sure whether to go back home or continue to drift north. Another person is 35 years old and has been unemployed for 7 months. Maybe it's hard to find a job again. He said his previous colleagues got promoted and took home a lot of year-end bonuses. He then looked at his poor bank balance and huge mortgage. He felt no hope, losing the courage to go on the road ahead. Not only ordinary employees, a 39-year-old executive also became unemployed. This executive complained that nowadays every company wants someone under the age of 35 with lots of experience. But how can someone have experience without working for over a decade and accumulating experience? There was also a general TV show in which the guest said in his commentary concerning workplace life, middle-aged people put all their energy into their work. They are the ones who are most willing to work hard and give voluntarily. But why does society start to dislike 35-year-olds? In May 2023, in order to promote the employment of young people, Beijing authorities asked state-owned enterprises to hire more graduates of 2023 and provided subsidies for companies that would do so. It also requires the number of college graduates employed to reach the level of 2022 at a minimum. However, job creation ultimately depends on economic growth, especially in youth-dominated businesses. The so-called new energy companies used to be an industry strongly supported by the CCP, but they couldn't withstand the impact of the economic recession. Recently, in 2023, Chinese media reported that CALB Group, a state-owned new energy battery company listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, dismissed more than 2,000 employees who were college graduates. According to the company's explanation, the industry is facing many challenges, and business adjustments are being made. It's going to compensate each individual 3,000 yuan or US $434 for a contract breach. According to industry insiders, fluctuations in the new energy industry have already emerged. As the demand for new energy vehicles cools down, many battery factories suffer from insufficient orders, production line shutdowns, and layoffs. The report reported the experience of one of the students surnamed Zhou who studied in Chengdu, Sichuan University. He described that the termination notice came very suddenly. Last Wednesday, May 24th, at about 2:40 p.m., the school recruitment group was suddenly disbanded. In a little over an hour, I received the termination phone call and email citing the reason being position change. It would compensate 3,000 yuan RMB for breach of contract. Zhou also said that from the time he accepted the job offer from CALB Group until now, he refused 3 or 4 job offers from listed companies and Fortune 500 companies, and he also passed the civil service exam during that period. But considering the distance and the fact that I've already accepted the offer, I refused those companies. He said that some classmates even got an offer from a well-known overseas university and had the opportunity to study abroad, but he rejected it as well. Now, we all feel caught off guard. As the pressure of employment becomes increasingly intense, the 4 no's lifestyle has also emerged. The 4 no's means no falling in love, no getting married, no buying properties, and no children. They express their disappointment with the government and their helplessness about the future by lying flat and buy land. Buy land is a buzzword in China, meaning giving up on trying.
No matter what schemes developers put out, and regardless of how tempting it is, I'm determined not to buy any property. I'm 20 years old and just entering the society. To sacrificing 20 to 30 years of well-being to provide interest for the capital, that's not possible. Some people want to argue, saying that if you don't buy a home, then how do your children go to school? Then I won't get married, okay? Going to school has already cost me more than a decade of my life, and then working super hard for another 40 years. Life is so short, only a few decades. Why should I pay for the capital speculation of overpriced properties? This is what people born after year 2000 are now saying. They have become the biggest natural enemy of the real estate now. I think I really can't go on living here. I came here on the night of May 5th. Today, the 9th. I have been here for 4 days. I go out every day during the day to look for jobs and interviews. And then I also check if the studio is finished renovating. I do some live streaming when I have time to make a few bucks and shoot videos. I can't sleep at night every day. I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm extremely confused. For 4 full days, I can't sleep at night every day. I have nightmares every day. I feel like I'm falling apart.
我天天晚上我做噩梦，我感觉我都快崩溃了。
躺平这1-2千块钱怎么来？我就来跟大家说一下。
Many people say I'm lying flat at home. Where do I get 2,000 yuan a month or US 283 to live on? I'll tell you, these 283 US dollars is from selling an old family home. It's enough to keep one property to live in. The home sold for about 1 million RMB, so it's like living off the previous generation. In my mind, if I don't sell it, it might get demolished by force in the future. It might be an unexpected battle where one gets destroyed by a gunshot. It's better to sell it now and use the money for other uses such as food and drink, which still counts as something. Another point is I won't get married, I won't have children, and I won't have the trouble of raising the next generation. I am the last generation, so I'll only fend for myself. I have no expectations for the future, and I don't have a whole lot of expectations for the next generation. There is no need, I'm just an ordinary person. There is no throne to speak of, nothing to be inherited, and no power in my family. And based on my years of schooling, I have seen too much that someone's one word can offset my lifetime of work. I've seen too much. To tell you the truth, many people are competent, but they don't have the opportunity, and it's not because they aren't good, but it's because of their parents and they're having no resources.
是你父母可能资源造成的，懂吧？
Unable to find jobs, people are more afraid to spend. Many physical stores are facing closure. The Qibao area in Shanghai, where a storefront was once too popular and hard to get one, is now vacant, ready for rent, but no one is interested in it.
看一下这个上海七宝地区，曾经最繁华的一个片区，这里是。
This is the Qibao area of Shanghai. It used to be one of the busiest areas. This is Shunfeng International Plaza and Shunfeng Food World. Let's go in and take a look. This is a convenience store at the entrance here, but it's looking to sublease it. How many vacant stores there are? They're all vacant. This is a takeout place, takeout only. The elevator is still running. This is scary. How many empty stores are there on the entire second floor? This is originally a street of education and training. Now I can hear my own echo when talking here. There are about 1 or 2 stores in the education category that are probably still around, but the rest is most likely closed. Not a single person is around.
有1、2家吧，其他大部分都是关门的，没有一个人。
我真的干不下去了。
I really can't go on. This is Wanda Plaza. You can see for yourself. There's no one, really no one. The rent is more than 100,000 yuan a month. These clothes I brought back from Italy. $1.5 US a piece. Windbreaker, $3 US. Shoes and bags sell for the price of a cup of milk tea. You guys come and clear them. If you like, come to my store and get the first pick.
喜欢的，来我包包先捡捡漏。
Now, let's go back to the official data. China's National Bureau of Statistics released data on May 16, 2023, indicating that the National Urban Survey unemployment rate was 5.2% in April, down 0.1 percentage points from the previous month. However, the survey unemployment rate of the labor force aged 16 to 24 rose to 20.4% in April from 19.6% in March. Chinese media outlet Caixin.com reported that this is the highest rate since statistics became available in 2018, and the youth unemployment rate once reached 19.9% in July in 2019. It should be noted that China's urban survey unemployment rate only counts the unemployed who have urban household registration and reported their unemployment status. Those who don't report aren't counted as unemployed. And rural households are part of the rural labor force whose unemployed population isn't counted either. So this number can't reflect the real unemployment status in China. In addition, the CCP has been expanding the number of both undergraduate and graduate students on campus, which also masks the youth unemployment rate. The real unemployment rate in China has always been a mystery. Faced with such an unemployment scene, how likely will China's economy recover? How much longer can the pressure cooker of China's economy hold up?